Welcome into a Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here, powered and driven by Go Chevrolet. Online, check out the crew at GEAUX-Chevrolet.com. Tons to get to on this Monday morning. Mikie Mahtook is here. Lloyd is here. World Series stays alive as Atlanta falls last night at home to Houston in Game 5. We got a serious buzz somewhere.
What is that?
I don't know, but it is buzzing, man.
We're humming.
We are
on
humming.
Monday.
It's you.
Yeah?
All right, we'll get it. Keep going. I got you.
We will talk to who are we going to talk to? We're going to talk to at 8 o'clock this morning
Duncan.
Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com and the Times-Picayune to talk about the yesterday, the New Orleans Saints, the Superdome. Wow, what a scene, bro. What an environment. The place was rocking, felt old school. P.J. Williams with a pick six.
Reminiscent of 2009, baby.
I say that was like an all-time moment.
That was.
It felt like in the Dome as the Saints yesterday down Brady and the Bucs. Sean Payton, maybe the best coach in the NFL over the last decade. As you look at what he accomplished yesterday with Trevor Simian. I forgot Simeon was in the league.
First TD 2017.
And then Cyril Grayson. What a story for him, catching a touchdown pass. The former track star for LSU. Lots to get to here on the Jordy Culotta Show coming up here on this Monday morning. Talking about the college football weekend as Georgia, the number one team in the country, looked like they were dominant. Ole Miss falls to Auburn on the Plains. We'll talk about that matchup, and then we'll do our stock up, stock down on college football coaches. I think we're good.
Names are getting hotter. Names are getting colder, too. That's great.
Mel Tucker
getting hot. Luke Fickell staying hot.
We'll jump into it. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by Go Chevrolet. Our coffee is brought to you by Majestic Coffee. Majestic is brewed down here in South Louisiana. DeliciousSips.com. You're looking for the water, True Blue Water, TRU, BlueWater.com. Every day here, True Blue Water. Our guest via the phone line, Metropolitan Health Group. Let's start in the Dome, man. Let's start with the Saints. It was, I wish we could have been there. We had tickets to be there. We didn't go because...
You had to watch Lil J ball.
Lil J, bro. Lil J balled yesterday.
You had to watch him ball.
They played at 1:30, and as soon as the game ended at Our Lady of Mercy, we hopped in the car, headed on the interstate, hit a little bit of traffic, and once we hit the traffic, man, it would have been like the mid-third. I thought we were going to make halftime. If we make halftime, we're alive. We're in. And if we don't hit this little patch of traffic getting in, it was the airport traffic.
Yeah.
Hit the airport traffic, getting into New Orleans. And
you think they would have let y'all in there for free?
I don't know. We had great tickets.
And not that it matters, you already had the tickets.
It was.
But 2 weeks ago, it was Kansas where they were like,
hey, just come on in,
anybody
baby.
That's around, but they were beating Oklahoma,
in.
they're like, you could come in for free.
Hey,
just come in.
Just come stop by.
Oklahoma hung 35 on them.
That used to be the play when we were like kids. We would like play football outside of the prep game. And then kind of mosey in at halftime. Yeah. But no, it was, what a scene yesterday in the Dome, man. P.J. Williams, Tom Brady. You knew when Brady got the ball back with 1:40 left, like this, it didn't matter. And a lot of people commenting inside the huddle, inside of the bunker, saying that Don T saying that Sean Payton tried to give it away at the end with the goal line play calling. Defense saves Payton's ass at the end with the play calling in the red zone.
I'm not on that. Look, I get the concern. I understand. I wish you would have ran the ball on the first play instead of throwing it. But you give Tom Brady 35 seconds or you give him 1:15 seconds, you have to score a touchdown. Yeah. That's what they were trying to do.
I agreed with what Aikman was saying. Now, look, if we're going back and we're playing hindsight 2020 here, we can all agree. You would have liked to have burned a little bit more clock. Right. But as Aikman said, it doesn't matter. And Sean Payton and Aikman said, he kind of jumped into Payton's head and said, look, I imagine that Sean Payton's probably thinking that it doesn't matter if I give Tom Brady. He's got one timeout. He's going to have a timeout.
And a field goal wins the game.
And a field goal wins the game. It doesn't matter if you give him 25 seconds or 1:40. He's going to get you into position to win. And I kind of agree with that. It's probably not, and it's not the correct coaching strategy from a play calling standpoint at the end of the game, especially with a third-team quarterback, asking him to make some of those throws. I mean, you got 90. Who's that? John
JPP.
Yeah, JPP in his face.
His fingers.
I mean, like
with 3 fingers.
In third down, I'm thinking, oh my God. I mean, like, don't just make the play. But
yeah, I'm with you. I think I understand the concern. I understand. I wouldn't even if we didn't win, I wouldn't have put it on Sean Payton because I understand you have to score a touchdown in that situation to give yourself some breathing room, right? You score a touchdown, you're up by a touchdown. They got to go all the way down and score. If you don't, he one big play, 35-yard play. They're in field goal range, and they win the game in the dome, and it goes silent. Like I'm okay with it.
But one thing that we can agree on is that Sean Payton, his excellence, his genius, his coaching IQ is off the charts. I mean, not that this is breaking news 17 years into his existence, but I mean, if you just needed a reminder of how good of a coach he is, forget looking at Siemian, and we can get to Siemian and get to Winston and the quarterback play.
The Sibian.
Just the discipline his teams play with, how good they're playing at the right times. You can see they improve every week. I mean, they're beating Tampa Bay with guys that I was following on Twitter. Ross Deller, he's like, I've had to Google the Saints roster 3 times today.
Right.
You know, I'm trying to find out some of these guys that he's winning with, and it's just it's a compliment to when people tell you that coaching doesn't matter.
They're lying.
You can look at the New Orleans Saints and say there's a great example of how good coaching, how much it matters.
And we talk a lot about culture. I mean, the Saints culture around their
the most
team,
fun team in the league.
They're fun. They love each other. They have each other's backs. And there's outside of a few little things that happen with Michael Thomas, nothing gets out of there, right? Everything stays in house. Everything stays close. You can at the end of the game, the pick 6, Allen went all the way over to Sean Payton, and they're hugging and they're pumping their fist like. You have that continuity, and you have everybody on one side, and they're trying to do the same thing. Like, that makes a huge difference.
Sean Payton is 30 seconds away from putting a helmet on. Like, they treat him like a player.
Yeah, no doubt.
And it is awesome
I mean,
to
some
see.
of those scenes from the locker room, absolutely.
Rattling him.
Mark Ingram. I mean, like the Ingram example. I mean, when he was approached by Houston and said, hey, look, we got an opportunity to get you back to New Orleans. I mean, he was like, get me back.
Yeah, get me back.
I never wanted to leave.
I'm in.
First play, first touch, he goes 17 yards on the screen.
Beautiful.
I mean, God, it gives me the chills thinking because, like, when he first got here, when Mark Ingram first got here, people were kind of trashing him, like, oh, he's a bust, he's not doing it. And then he started doing it, and then they both had him. And I'm like, he was kind of the life of the club, the locker room. He was like the soul of the team. And then he left, and he left on such good terms. Like he wasn't bitter that we didn't sign him back, and he comes back, and the video of them announcing him is awesome.
It is.
It is awesome.
And him wearing 14 as opposed like his Kamara's 41, boom and zoom is back. Like he's all in on all of that.
Right.
Like, even if it's like if you want to think it's cheesy, it's really not.
No.
But for him to like, I'll wear 14, Kamara's like, I'm 41. Like they're just boys, and you could tell that like that was the shot in the arm that kind of the Saints needed.
And not only that,
you just beat the Bucs with Trevor Siemian.
You make your best player happy.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, out of that, Alvin Kamara is like not finally, but I mean, you give him another piece that he's comfortable around.
A little bit of a break, man.
Absolutely. It gives him a little bit of a workload. Kind
it's a perfect compliment.
What do you have, 6 touches yesterday, 27 yards? I mean, like.
I think he had 8 touches for almost 50.
Really? You know what? Because I was just looking at his carries.
Yeah.
I was just looking at his carries, so you're right.
I think he had like 20 or 30 yards receiving.
Mark Ingram, 6 for 27 yesterday. And then he had 2 for 25. So, 8 touches for right around 50 yards. I mean, just if I'd have told you yesterday morning you'll get 8 touches for 50 yards out of Ingram in his first game back, and he got here on Wednesday, you know what I mean? Like, it's another testament to Peyton's greatness.
Don't even take Drew Brees out of the equation, right? Like, Drew Brees
he's coming back.
Drew Brees out of the last 2 years of his career, like couldn't throw the ball downfield, but he mentally he could do it, right? He understood everything. There was nothing that he saw that he didn't know, right? Teddy Bridgewater, Jameis Winston, Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian, all W's, all wins under Sean Payton, and guys that probably now Teddy got his job, but the other 3 guys would not start for any other team in the NFL right now. I mean, Jameis had no jobs. He signed for the Saints with for $1 million. Trevor Siemian got signed off the practice squad to be our 3rd string quarterback, and nobody in the NFL thinks Taysom Hill can be a quarterback. And Sean Payton has won with all of them.
How comfortable are you with Trevor Siemian yesterday? Because I was watching, I was like, oh, I didn't even really mind him being out there.
I didn't.
It was crazy because it looked good. And it's like, I know he's not, but I know he's not good.
Right.
But with Sean Payton and in that offense, like he looks very comfortable.
He has, before yesterday, he was 12-11 as a starter in the NFL.
That is
and Sean
amazing.
Payton's throwing the ball with him.
But that's a winning record in the NFL. And he played, I'm not saying he's good. And I'm not saying he's going to save the season. I'm not saying he's going to be the starter from here on out. But 12-11 as your third string, as a starter in the NFL, as your third string quarterback, that's a nice guy to have.
I hate it for Jameis.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that for Jameis Winston.
God, man, me too.
I think it was confirmed this morning. ACL. He's going to be out for the remainder of the season.
Don't tell him that.
Yeah, I mean, he's still in the locker room and he's still a part of the team. He's still trying to be in there and
dancing on crutches,
air guitaring.
He was getting better.
Yep.
Saints were real. I mean, like yesterday, he was running the ball. He
40
looked
yards
confident,
running,
man. I mean, he was bouncing off of people. I mean, people were bouncing off of him. I hate that for him that he's going to miss this year. And Saints looked like they were kind of rounded into form with him under center.
He plays a wild brand of football.
Yes,
by the way,
but you know what? It's wild
hold on.
Without turnovers, wild without turnovers, and like that. I mean, I think he realized, you know what? Instead of trying to throw this ball deep, I'm gonna run.
Yeah, and I mean, which the NFL has been asking for that Jameis, and here he was. I mean, you were really going to kind of see him in true form where he wasn't turning the ball over. So I hate it for I hate it for Winston. I mean, the
question has to be asked:
does he come back?
Drew Brees?
No
way.
No. Boys.
And then here's the other thing.
No,
Drew's not coming back.
They asked him. Mike Tirico asked him. He said,
no.
I'm working the Purdue game, which is on a Saturday.
He said, I'm working the Purdue game, and I'll be here on Sunday.
Yes,
which here, as in the studio of NBC. But, no. People keep asking, do you trade?
You don't think they called?
Let me get this out there, please.
No.
Because people...
I don't. I think you had those conversations last year.
He's not.
2 years ago.
He's done.
Like, I'm not coming back. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to...
He wants to come back.
No.
He got forced out.
He's not coming back.
Yeah. They squeezed him out.
No, he's not coming back. He's not coming back. He's not. Don't do that.
I don't think he is.
Stop doing that.
No,
Stop it. Stop. No, but I want to get this out there. So people are asking, like, man, why don't we go and trade for Deshaun Watson? Get out of here with that. First of all, we don't have the draft capital to trade for him. You don't want to trade any more first-round picks. They want 3 first-rounders, right? Let's say we had the 3 first-rounders. Okay? You trade for him. You get him. He gets put on the exempt list. So now you're trading for a guy who can't even play for you. So I just wanted to get that off my chest. Can we just stop saying that?
Yes, I agree with you. And what we just talked about, the locker room chemistry within the Saints is unfazed. I mean, it is probably the best in the league. That's a gamble. That is a risk-reward situation that you were taking. And Sean Payton is very measured when he does that. But I would imagine that is just a little too much of putting it out there, of messing with the chemistry of that locker room.
Yes.
It'll be interesting what happens when Taysom Hill comes back.
Right.
You know what I mean, Payton has always had this affinity for making Taysom Hill a quarterback.
You know what? I'm kind of excited to watch what he tries to do. Like, hey, you know what? You had a little time last year as the quarterback. I want to see what the offense looks like with him trying to do it. I know it's, I think Jameis was the guy, but I mean, it was a battle, to the end. So
the most interesting part about it is that Payton can play a different style. Like you talked about, you pointed out the examples of the quarterbacks: Bridgewater, Simeon, Winston, Brees, Taysom Hill. I mean, all these guys can play a different brand of football, and I love to see the game plan that Payton puts around. But I mean, look, we've talked about the Saints for a while now, and we hadn't mentioned probably really the story of the day is the defense.
The defense,
The defense is incredible. Check out this stat for Tom Brady. In 21 games in 2020 and 2021, and this is coming from Jeff Duncan, who's going to be here in about 40 minutes on the Jordy Culotta show. In 21 games in 2020 and 2021's regular seasons, Tom Brady has thrown 10 interceptions in 839 attempts, which is one every 83.9 attempts. In 3 games versus the Saints in that same time span, Brady's thrown 7 interceptions on 114 attempts, which is one in every 16 throws.
Crazy.
I mean, the defense and Dennis Allen, the way that they game plan against Brady and the Bucs, and really the way that they've been playing all season long, I think has kind of been one of the underlying stories of the NFL that people talk about, but you really don't dive into. People are going to start paying attention to what they did after yesterday because, I mean, they confused Brady. Like Brady, you could tell,
frustrated,
which to me is confusion. Because Brady, at this point in his career, he rarely gets confused. He rarely sees something and makes the wrong choice. And yesterday, I think he saw some things that he thought was there that like vanished when he made his decision, that you could see his frustration boil over on the sideline. And to me, that's the best compliment you can give a defense in the NFL.
The greatest of all time.
Is frustrating a guy like him, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, somebody like those guys.
Both of them. Dennis Allen has confused both Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Then you saw him celebrate on the sideline to where it's almost a Britt Venables situation where I don't think he wants to go anywhere else. Like,
unless the perfect job comes, I don't think he's leaving.
Exactly. Like I think he was chest bumping with Sean Payton, like they're boys.
Yep.
This whole culture around the Saints is very cool, and then bringing Mark Ingram back makes a lot of sense. If Mikie Thomas can get on the same page with everybody else, the Saints are kind of dangerous out there.
I think he's getting. He was on the sidelines yesterday.
He was.
Dude, if you're gonna have a bad attitude, like when that's going on, then you're not. But he wasn't.
Right.
He's like, all right, I'm buying on that.
Well,
like, where else would you want to be?
You can't buy. If you can't buy into that, you're not a player.
You're not cool.
We
don't want you then.
Exactly,
and like the thing about it is, like Tom didn't play bad. Like he didn't play terrible, but the thing the Saints do, like they turn him over. He doesn't turn it over, but they turn him over. He had like 350-something yards passing and but he had 2 interceptions and a fumble.
Right.
Like we turn him over, we get to him, we make him uncomfortable. Yeah, he's gonna make plays because he's the greatest quarterback of all time. And he's got an all-star receiving core around him. But the Saints turn him over every time they play him, and it's freaking impressive.
28 of 40, 375, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks for Brady yesterday.
And an L.
And a loss. We talked about it on Friday as well. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, C.D. Deuce, all up in the head of Leonard Fournette after the game, getting Fournette to push, shove. They had to break him up midfield.
Oh, man.
So
I love the chippiness in this division. Like, hey, you know what? The Falcons stink, and the Bucs are now our biggest rival right now.
I mean,
the Falcons stink right now.
They're terrible.
I know.
Number 1 pick bad.
Yeah, like I know that.
And Calvin Ridley just walked away from mental health, obviously a big deal, but
yeah, like that they don't have. But I know that like the Falcons and the Saints, like that's their like the rivalry, and like it's great. But right now with Brady there and the way that they beat us in the postseason and how we're playing, I think that's the big rivalry right now until Brady's done.
Especially when Drew Brees comes back.
And you can tell that Brady has really embraced this because of his relationship with Sean Payton. That he has so much respect for the Saints. I mean,
he wanted to be in New Orleans.
He did. I think that's what really kind of brought Brees back his last season was that he heard the rumor that Brady
and that's what bring
can't bring Brady back and win. You can't bring Brady here and win it when I'm gone. Like I understand it from Drew's spot too. I got to come back and win. I have to win one.
I mean, I can't let him do it.
Yeah,
because they would have won a Super Bowl.
Tom
Brady is the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. They win the Super Bowl. He's going away.
I know Drew's was a half of what he probably was earlier in his career, but
still,
I mean, a Jared Cook fumble away from being in the NFC Championship game.
I mean, he was a Jared Cook fumble away from being 3-0 versus Brady last year.
Yep.
Not only that, he was if you want to go back even, that's 2 more
I mean,
years.
Dude,
one spiked pass to Michael Thomas to win in almost 3 Super Bowls.
Think about, and I don't want to go down this road.
The Saints are just,
but the Saints playoff losses.
Oh, they're brutal.
From not even the last 4 or 5 years. I'm talking about from since 2000, since we won the Super Bowl. Our playoff loss, you had the run from Marshawn. You had 49ers game. You had 2 Vikings games. You had the Rams. You had the Bucks. Like all of those games were all winnable by us.
Brutal
losses.
All the reason Drew Brees is scratching his new hair, saying maybe I could come back.
The floor level shot. He ain't coming back. The floor level shot of P.J. Williams pick 6 by the New Orleans Saints. Is it an Instagram account or Twitter account? Instagram account. Gives you an idea of the home field, the dome field advantage that the Caesars Palace Superdome
was
was in yesterday.
What was Sean saying about?
I don't know.
I'm confused.
Like what?
Like another maybe third down. They need to get louder, but like maybe he's trying to piss them off.
He's trying to piss them off. That's what I was thinking. That's kind of like some Sean Payton psychology 101.
Yeah.
Just kind of like, doesn't she look good? No, she's very ugly. You know what I mean? Like what?
Just kind of makes you look fat.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I've never been better.
No, her friend's hotter. Like what?
She's trying to bang bows.
When she shows up next time, she's gonna look like a Victoria's Secret model, man.
But man, that's fun. Like look, and like you know what? And he scored a touchdown. Mike Evans did score 2 catches, 45 yards, and a touchdown. But dude, Lattimore, I know, and Tom missed him early in the game. But Lattimore shuts him down.
He does.
I know you have a touchdown, but it's only 2 catches.
He did, and they are constantly just shoving, bickering, going back at each other.
Saints are
that's an underrated
all-time bad boys. Yeah. Like they're like the team you don't want to play because
but you want to play for.
Yeah, 100%.
You want to play on their team, but you hate them when you're not on them.
Yep. Exactly. Like if we weren't like in Louisiana, I would hate the Saints.
For sure.
Because they're just like, they just can't stop talking shit.
Yep. Yeah.
And all of them do.
I was hoping Dallas would lose, and then Saints would be number 2. Saints would be number 2 in the NFC. No, number 3.
It was good to see Traquan Smith.
Yeah.
Bounce back game.
Yeah, everybody's writing him off. Daily, we're brought to you by Edward Jones here. Remember, your financial advisor, our financial advisor is Daniel Newman, daniel.newman at edwardjones.com, daniel.newman at edwardjones.com. Get in touch with him. He's out in central Louisiana as he can help you out with 401k, any financial advice that you may need about Exxon. If you work in the plant industry, not about Exxon, but if you work at Exxon, if you work at Dow, BASF, any of those plants, let Daniel Newman help you out with your finances. He's got great experience in that space. In fact, a listener gave Newman a call from Houston who was working in the plant industry a couple of weeks back and has been a successful and easy relationship to start and keep up and moving. Get in touch with Daniel Newman, daniel.newman at edwardjones.com. Daniel.newman at edwardjones.com is where you find him. How about Joey B and Jamar going up to New York? That happens in the NFL, though.
Whoa. They shouldn't have been in that position, but God damn it, how bad was that call at the end of the game?
The worst call I've ever seen.
I mean,
not because I gambled
but you know what happened? But that's what happens.
You put yourself in that situation.
When you put it in the referee's hands, it'll get you every time.
You cannot make that call.
Did you not see them talk to the referees, and the referee was like, "Dude, I know. Like, there's nothing I can do." At what point are we going to get to the NFL where they're like,
"You can review that,
hand up, like, or just like, dude, like, look, we all know I fucked it up. Like, let's just let's take it away."
I mean, the guy had made his decision on his launch point on where he was making the tackle.
You can't go lower.
And the guy started lower, and like, oh my God, how does that? You were gonna give the ball to Joey B with 2 timeouts left and 1 minute and 40 seconds left.
Jam had a touchdown yesterday at 3 catches for 32 yards. They also ran him on a play. It didn't look good, but I love the fact I love how they get him the football. Yeah, just give it to him. Burrow yesterday, 21 of 34, 3 touchdowns and a pick. He was sacked 3 times. But Mike White. 37 of 45 yesterday.
400 yards.
I mean, how about that? 37 of 45 for 400 yards, 3 scores, and 2 picks in your first. I mean, who is Mike White?
From?
Man, the savior, maybe.
Where is he from?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
No idea.
Some West Coast team.
Western Kentucky.
Western Kentucky is exactly right. But wasn't it the more of the feeling of you didn't get to see Joe Burrow in the moment? Like,
yes.
That's what makes
You're robbing
me
him.
upset.
You're robbing the fans.
Of the hero moment.
You're robbing the fans.
Because if he gets the ball,
Brady.
It's over.
Yesterday, when Brady got the ball back with 1:41, Kelly and I were sitting at Parkway Tavern in New Orleans.
Yes. You got your roast beef boy.
That's how we missed it. We missed it. So I said we've got to make this. We've got to make this. We got to get in it.
I'm so jealous of you.
We just got to go do the New Orleans thing. I mean, if we're not going to be in the dome, we got to experience the city.
I'm gonna crave that now. I'm gonna crave that all day.
It's so good. It's so good.
Anyway, sorry. You're watching at Parkway Tavern.
And she gets and Brady gets the ball back with 1:41, and we're both of us, everybody around us, we're screwed. We're done.
First
this
play,
is way too much time. He's got a timeout in his back pocket. I mean, that's how you feel about Burrow.
Yep.
When Burrow gets the ball and he's down and he has enough time on the clock and you give him a timeout, you're like, it's not if, it's when. Y'all are screwed. You're going to get beat.
I mean, it's like, as a referee.
He had to feel so bad.
And you have to use common sense, dude.
The
guy has, it's not a quarterback. It's not a guy who's like held up. The guy caught the ball, turned to make a play, and the cornerback, and the guy's dead. He's dead. He's done. The play is over with. He makes the tackle. Let it be, dude. Him. And you know what? Nobody's gonna say, "Oh my God, I wish you had called head to head on that play." You can't determine the game.
It was just a terrible way to lose an NFL football game, but when you put it in the NFL officials' hands, sometimes that's how you get beat, bro. That's,
I mean, they lost the game other ways. You shouldn't have let it come down to that, but I mean, I wish I would see Joey be at the end.
That's one of those games that haunts a team throughout the year, you know, like playoff type.
Not only that, but Joe Burrow, I was talking about this to my friends last night, and I was like, you know, he like didn't sleep last night because not only because he threw that pick when he was like, are you not shocked every time Joe Burrow makes a mistake? Like, I was shocked.
Okay, wait, so
because it was a stream to Jamar Chase and he just hits him right in the chest. Yeah, and you're just like,
I missed it. When was the interception?
I can't believe he did that.
Third quarter.
Okay, so here's my question. So I missed. I was watching Red Zone. So
which is awesome.
I have some takes on Red Zone.
The Jets score.
NFL cocaine.
The Jets score, and then all of a sudden they get the ball back. How did they get the ball back after they scored a touchdown? I missed that part.
That's when
he threw the pick.
He threw a pick.
I thought that was in the. I thought that was the fourth quarter.
This is the fourth quarter.
Oh, it was the fourth quarter.
4-minute offense.
Fourth quarter.
And they were trying to get an easy.
Oh, so he threw the pick in the fourth quarter.
Okay,
that's what it was.
Easy throw to Jamar to like they're gonna wrap the game up right there. Like get a first down, Jamar Chase, boom, like LSU versus Clemson. Like that was the same play.
Right.
The
game's getting tight. Throw it to Jamar.
Yeah, he looks for him every play.
Well, yeah.
Right.
When you
awesome.
should.
He's the best receiver in the league right now.
And T. Higgins is great too. But go ahead.
Yeah.
But so he throws that pick. He hits him right in the chest. Then Joe was like, I can't believe I can't believe he was right there. And then you just get to the point where you're like,
so he's the defender in the chest.
I'm not going to get the ball back.
Yeah, it was
the defender in the chest. I missed the interception. I missed. Okay.
Just never saw him.
Okay. Yeah.
I guess
it happens. It happens.
Because I skipped out on the red zone to watch just the Bengals.
Yes, that's what happens.
Yeah, but how'd you watch them? They weren't on TV.
Internet.
You
crackstreams.com.
You cheated.
I did.
You cheated.
I was faithful.
Would you expect anything less?
No, I would not. Actually.
Yeah, right.
I'm actually mad that he didn't tell me how to watch it.
Oh, just text me anytime. I'll give you a link. But dude, if we want to talk a little red zone real quick, do you feel like you watch everything and nothing at the same time? I feel like I watched every game yesterday, but I don't remember anything.
Well, I mean, you don't get the beef. You don't get the beef. I mean, you don't get the beef. You don't get the beef of the game. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like all you see is the shine. Yeah. I mean, like you don't see who made the big play.
How did they get here?
How'd you get me here?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. I want to know about the journey.
Hansen got me here.
Yeah. I mean, Hansen.
It's a great job. I mean, that's a hard job.
It's a hard job.
That's 6 hours straight of like, you have to be on.
Most impressive part is he's still buttoned up. Hair's still in place.
By the end of the time, I'd be like this.
Unbuttoned, bro.
I would not.
Tie on your
feet
head.
Up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Beer in my hand. Like,
I do want that version of the red zone. At some point, we need to do that where it's just like, this is how it
as the day goes on.
Like, he's not wearing pants. There's no way. He is just kind of like half-cocked underneath the desk, just waiting. Like, because all you see is he's buttoned up from the waist up.
Right.
And everything but below, God knows what's going on down there.
That's where the party's at.
I would imagine.
Cajun Ready Mix provides ready-mix concrete product services to meet all of your concrete needs. Remember, they're online at CajunRMC.com. Residential, commercial, industrial, municipal. Cajun Ready Mix has 9 certified plants to service the greater Baton Rouge area and all major outlying cities. At Cajun Ready Mix, they are ready for your order today. With the 9 plants, that means that you'll get all your deliveries on time and to the exact specifications. High-quality products, grade A equipment, and clear safety standards. Online at CajunRMC.com. Cajun Ready Mix, CajunRMC.com. Anybody see the end of the Florida State-Clemson game?
Yes.
Did anybody have Clemson or Florida State in that game?
I know people that did have Clemson.
Clemson?
Yep.
So that they had the right side.
They had the good side. I knew someone who had a 3-team underdog parlay.
No.
And
did they have Florida State?
They had Florida State. When Florida State had that scored with 2 minutes left, they're like, "Oh my god!" And he would have won almost $20K.
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Yeah,
dude. The most brutal gambling story I've ever heard of all time was Dan Patrick was interviewing Pete Rose on radio, and Pete Rose was talking about one night he's at the track. Have you ever heard this story?
No.
He's at the track. He's got this horse, and the horse is winning by like Secretariat type links.
Right.
Like, I mean, he is just out and like into the open running, and they're running at like Cincinnati Horse Park, and a deer jumps out of the woods and spooks the horse, chunks the jockey, and sprints the other way.
No way.
Yes. Like Rose said he went home and like contemplated suicide. He was like, the gods are against me. I'm stopping gambling. The Florida State Clemson final. At the end, I was sitting there thinking, somebody is going to kill themselves tonight. If you've got Florida State in this game, they're sitting there down by what, 4? Yeah, were they down four? They're down 4, and they try some bullshit.
Well, they had the ball in like the 35.
Yes,
and
yes. It's like, no, we don't do this.
It's the ultimate.
Don't do this. I mean, when the ball's in the air, you can see when he threw it backwards. I thought they're gonna score.
Oh my god,
they are gonna score.
It wasn't laterals either. It was like 15-yard passes backwards.
Bro, it was backyard football. It was like family reunion pickup game. I got him. You got him.
Oh my god!
Who's got the ball?
I mean, and it comes down to it. The ball ends up in the end zone, and it's just sitting there in the end zone. And I'm like, oh my god! Clemson falls on it. Touchdown. We go to review. The guy on the calling the game's like, there's no review here. I mean, what are they reviewing? Yeah. This is easy. That's a score.
They got Vegas on the line. Do you want us to call this? What do you want?
Should we call it? What do you want?
Ultimate bad.
Bro, that was the worst.
Happened before.
The worst of the bad beats.
God, that one was bad.
The worst of the bad beats.
It's the Scott Van Pelt who was it, Mr. Nutt, the Ohio State guy, when he realizes what the spread is. And that was that game. You're like, I was trying to stay
up. I was trying to stay up for SVP, because I like that segment.
That's a great segment.
Beats.
That's a great segment.
And him and Stanford Steve, and I tried to stay, and I just couldn't do it. I had to fall. I had 5:15 workouts this morning. I had to go to sleep.
You made it?
Good for you.
I made it.
Wow.
My legs hurt. I made it.
After the weekend, I could use it. I'll definitely be into Yoga 90 tomorrow.
That was the
motivation.
Weekend was the motivation. The candy yesterday.
Y'all's neighborhood was on just. Yeah, I don't know if you want to put your neighborhood out there, but
our neighborhood was great.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we had a nice big
How
TV.
did you end up there?
I saw it on social media.
No, I didn't know if you did.
I
didn't know if you golf carted out there.
No, when I walked a quarter last night, which was.
Sneaky New Orleans guy you are.
I love New Orleans.
I know you do.
How do you know I know New Orleans?
He just seemed like he would fit right in. Beef. Big balcony guy.
Love balconies.
Yes, we had a great spot in New Orleans last night. We stayed at a little bed and breakfast on Esplanade.
Nice.
Esplanade.
Yeah, and they give you a code, no check-in. You know what I mean? You just walk. I love that type of spot. Yes. Got us something good to eat. Parkway Tavern. Walked a quarter. Saw the sights. Everybody was dressed up. It was a beautiful night. Everybody, you could feel the dome.
What was the best costume you saw?
Dude, there was a.
New Orleans Halloween is like special.
It was, and in the quarter, everybody was in. They had two people that looked like a kind of a husband and a wife, dressed up
kind of.
like the slow down sign in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they had the highlighter leotard on with the red hat.
Excellent.
With the slow down across their chest with the 2 red flags.
Wow!
And they would walk up to every intersection on Bourbon Street as we were kind of a couple of links behind, and they would kind of book in the street and make the sign, and people were just circling up, just taking pictures of. I thought it was pretty creative.
Yep.
A lot of
spooky shit, bro.
I bet.
We were walking, so we made the block down Bourbon. Yes, we made the block down Bourbon, and then we kind of cut over to Royal, and as we're walking on Royal back toward Esplanade, you know those little just kind of houses in the quarter, those little spots in the quarter, and somebody's got their window up, lights down, kind of like the cage in front of, and somebody hops out the window, and as we're walking down the street, and luckily it didn't catch me.
Already scary.
Because it would have been I'd had to shit my pants type moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm not down with that type of stuff.
No. Don't jump out.
Don't jump at me, man.
I'm going to New Orleans this weekend. We have a New Orleans weekend, a little family New Orleans weekend this weekend, going to the Falcons game.
Where are we going?
Wow.
Falcons
in town?
Come on.
Falcons in town?
Yeah.
But New Orleans is already scary. What's the place in Baton Rouge that does the
is it 13th Gate?
13th Gate scares the shit out of me.
Great.
New Orleans already scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You can't be having spooky time and then I don't know if he's being legit or not. I don't know who's mad at whom, And so New Orleans is just already spooky. Don't spook me anymore, because even if I'm walking like into my own house and somebody gives me a little jump scare, I'll scare.
Yeah.
I'll shit my pants.
For sure. I think anybody would.
Joe Biden. Saw Biden. Shit himself meeting the Pope over the weekend.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
No.
Is
that real?
Did you get fooled by the internet?
How do we know?
How do we know? Fact check that.
Yeah,
fact check that.
We need fact checks.
Fact check that.
I never heard that.
Couldn't trust a fart in the Vatican, bro.
He farted. I mean, church is long.
World Series last night. What'd you think?
I mean, what a game.
It was incredible. Game.
So you talked about our neighborhood, how awesome it was for Halloween. So we had this big ass TV, big speakers, tent, the whole deal. Like in the back, block party for the kids, really for the adults, not really for the kids. You know, but
we know how y'all do it.
Yeah, we're watching the Saints game, and like we're fired up, and we're all and the baseball game comes on, and like I'm standing there, we're talking. All of a sudden, Duvall hits Oppo Taco for a grand slam first inning. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna do this.
Yeah.
But I was like, I knew the Astros are gonna come back. I was like, it's first inning, they have some time. But I was like, man, they're hot and they're doing a whole bullpen day, and that's the danger of doing a bullpen, having the bullpens, because like the guys have to be. You want those guys to be perfect. You can't get into trouble, because then you have to take bullpen. You're not finishing innings. The bullpens have to come in. A guy's throwing an inning now. Another guy's got to come in mid inning to finish it. And Astros chipped away. I think the Braves got to be up 6-5, right? Or it may have been, it was 5-4. Then Braves tied it or something. No, Braves are up 5-4, and then the Astros tied it. And then the next inning, they just they ran away with it a little bit. But yeah, man. I mean, they got them back to Houston now, so we'll see. But it was a fun game.
It's good to see Bregman get a big hit last night.
He was due for sure.
He was due.
I mean, you could tell he wasn't going to go over. He's been in that situation too many times. But yeah, I mean, he was due. He had a big hit. Altuve, another homer, right? Did he hit another homer last night?
Altuve was 1 for 5.
Not another homer. I think he had a base hit though.
Yeah, he had a base hit. He led off the game with a base hit.
Yeah, that's what it was. And then Correa. I mean,
home run, base hit. Was it there?
Oh, well, you see base hits 1 base, and then a home run's 4,
and you
get the RBI and the run. Well, yeah, I mean they're good. They played well. I'm glad we have more baseball, to be honest with you.
Yeah, me too. Bregman last night 1 for 4, scored a run, knocked in 1. He was also
great
walked.
Play at third base too. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Ozzie Albies, who can fly, hits a chopper. Like past the pitcher, in between the pitcher and the third baseman, and Bregman has 1 play, and this ball's bouncing high. Like, it's not a super slow roller, but like it's bouncing high. And if the ball hits one more time,
safe.
Altuve's safe. Bregman comes in, bare hands it, throws it, and gets him by 2 steps. And I'm like, I mean, at that point in the game, it was a big play. It was a really hard play.
His defense is underappreciated, isn't it?
Yep, yeah. I think so. I mean, he's not the most.
He was a catcher playing infield.
Yeah,
he was a catcher in high school.
Yeah, he came to LSU as a catcher. Then he moved to shortstop.
Oh, so you know he's got hands.
I mean, he's got great hands.
But yeah, his defense is good at third base. He's not the top defender in the league, but like he can make all of those plays, and he seems to make the best defensive play at the best.
He does.
Most important time.
And that is kind of, to me, why I guess he's considered underappreciated, is because you only show these plays where he backhands it back behind the bag and makes that falling back
in
throw
the postseason,
the postseason out, like you just pointed out. But he makes the routine play every time.
Right.
Like he doesn't. He's almost as I don't watch Astros baseball every day, but I mean, you never hear about him being a liability.
He didn't anything.
Yeah, he doesn't.
No.
He doesn't make big errors.
I mean, he's not going to be like Arenado or Matt Chapman in Oakland, because Matt Chapman won the platinum glove. Platinum.
Whoa.
Which platinum means you're the best defender in all of baseball, like defender, not position.
I didn't know that existed.
Wow, I didn't know that existed.
Yeah,
so there's just one of those?
So one guy wins a platinum glove, and a year. Or maybe it's both. Whatever it is, you don't have many of them. Chapman won a platinum. Kiermaier, center fielder in Tampa, I know has won a platinum. But yeah, Chapman's like really. I know people don't know him. He's in Oakland.
He's awesome.
But he's awesome at third base. And so him, Arenado, Machado, those are like the top defensive third basemen in the league.
Alex Gordon got you with the platinum glove.
See, that guy's. That guy was a third baseman, moved him to left field, then won the platinum glove in left field.
Wow.
Yeah, he struggled when he first got to the big leagues, and then hey, you're going to go to left. And he won like a ton of gold gloves and then won the platinum. But yeah, I mean, Bregman's really, really, really good defensively, but those guys are next level.
Yeah. Nolan Arenado's won it 4 years in a row.
Yep.
Damn.
Yep.
I didn't even know the platinum glove existed.
Me either. Is that voted on by the players?
No, I think it's like
sports writers.
It's like the Rawlings Gold Glove, same type of voting, but then you vote the platinum glove. So it's sick. You win it. So when you win, if you have a Rawlings deal, and you win the Gold Glove, they make all of your gloves have the gold Rawlings thing. So like you can only get that if you won the Gold Glove, right? You win the platinum glove, they say do the same thing with platinum, but it's sick.
Wow.
Yeah, it's sick.
What a
Didn't LeMahieu win a Gold Glove?
Yep, 2 I think. Silver Slugger, only player in big league history that won Silver Slugger
and both leagues.
Batting title in both leagues.
That's right. City Cafe brings you the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, City Cafe is on O'Neill and George O'Neill. Lunch specials every day. They crank up at 11 o'clock this morning over at City Cafe. Yesterday, brunch cranked up at 10 a.m. For the Sunday brunch over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net is where you find them online. They got great social media. Get them on Instagram, Facebook, City Cafe. Great lunch specials. And as we've been reminding you, they are hiring at all positions over there. So if you're looking for work, whether it is bar back, bartending, front of the house, hostess, managerial, they can help you out right now over at City Cafe. CityCafeBR.net. CityCafeBR.net. Go stop in and tell them you heard it here on the Jordy Culotta Show. All right, coming up at 8 o'clock, we're going to talk to Jeff Duncan. Jeff Duncan will be here from NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. We'll talk to him about that scene yesterday within the Saints or within the Superdome. We'll ask him what to expect from the Saints now with the news that Winston looks like he's going to be out indefinitely for the remainder of the season. What do? They stick with Trevor Siemian here.
Hopefully Taysom's back, too.
They work Taysom Hill in. What about Cam Newton? Is he an option? Did you take a look at him right now?
I guess you have to look at him, but like hearing Drew and Jameis talk about how long it takes to like have that comfortability within the offensive scheme, I don't know how much.
What's the difference between him and Taysom Hill?
Yeah, I don't know how much of an upgrade he would be, but I mean, I guess you have to look at it.
Can you keep Taysom Hill being Taysom Hill if you bring in a player like that?
Exactly. And he had that serious concussion. Like, I don't know if they want Taysom doing, like, they don't need him out anymore. I mean, it's 3 weeks he's been out for the concussion.
I know, but I'm saying grow
up.
I
mean, look, you flipping dune buggies and whatever.
Concussion survivor right here.
We will be back with the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll talk about LSU Alabama primetime event.
Oh, prime time.
6 p.m.
The line opened up at minus 25.5.
I was hoping that game was going to kick off at 8 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Play on Friday.
25.5 does not feel like enough. We'll talk about that next year.
Sprinkle a little LSU money line, see what happens.
Yeah, speaking of money lines, huge day in Louisiana.
Today.
Enormous day in Louisiana.
You don't have to drive to Mississippi anymore.
With sports gaming opening up, All Saints Day. Shout out to the New Orleans Saints. Today is their anniversary. But it is also the day in Louisiana that they have legalized gaming and that it will go live over at LeBear's.
We're going to be there, aren't we?
We are going to be there for the ribbon cutting ceremony at 3:30 this afternoon. We're looking forward to getting over there, man.
That's the best thing about the show. It was the first thing we put in the document.
Yes.
We did not talk about it yet. Where we are 47 minutes in.
I really thought to myself, too, like I really wanted to lead off with that because it was such a big deal.
It was the first time. Like, we said it on Wednesday.
We'll talk a little bit about that and be back here on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, TrueBlueWater.com. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. True Blue Water, True High. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Abear's Specialty Meats, home to the finest boudin in South Louisiana. 2 spots right here in Baton Rouge and out in Prairieville. Stop in and see them in the Dutchtown Shopping Center on Highway 73, or right here in Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway. Online, abearsmarkets.com, and they're all over social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. Abears combines perfect seasoning with that authentic Cajun flavor. Find out for yourself. Baton Rouge on Jefferson Highway and in Prairieville on Highway 73. abearsmarkets.com. Gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Really?
Yeah.
Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. Check out our crew online. Couple of locations here in South Louisiana. Laplace, of course, for the brand new cars. Used car lot at here in Baton Rouge on Sherwood Forest and Florida Boulevard. And then, of course, up in Tennessee, the brand new, the newest edition.
That's how you get there.
That's right. Go Chevrolet, GEAUX, Chevrolet.com. Do you care about this LSU Alabama game this week? Ed Ogeron is going to meet with the press today at 12:30. He does not. He does not. I think he showed you that at the Ole Miss game. What happened today, Coach? I don't know. I got no idea.
I care. I'm going to watch it. I care because I'm going to watch it, and I'm a fan, and I want LSU. I want them to keep it close. I don't think it's going to be close. I think 25.5 is probably not enough.
I agree with that. I don't think that 25.5 is enough. It is crazy that 54 minutes into our show here on Monday, we have not talked about LSU Alabama.
Are we getting hammered?
No way, dude. Nobody wants to talk about that.
Are we getting hammered about talking about
in general?
For
the game, definitely.
But are we getting hammered in the chat about not talking?
No, nobody cares.
Anybody cares?
Nobody cares about it. No, nobody cares.
I think everybody knows. It's not. There's no hey, there's no hope really.
In your lifetime, has LSU ever been a 25 point catching 25
last year?
points?
Was it last year?
Last year was standing because
COVID. Okay.
COVID. Apparently he got a break from that. I don't know how. Your boy Panamsky all-time spin job to get.
I think the national championship bought him the grace.
Yes, but everybody had to play with COVID. But it seems like LSU took it the best.
25.
I've never seen 25.
If you're asking my lifetime, I was alive during the Curly Holman days. I don't remember.
No, but alive.
Yeah, but no. No, not my football giving a damn life have I seen LSU 25.5 point underdogs and not feeling like enough. 25.5,
40.
It feels like it should be and could be 40. It feels like Alabama could name their score in this one. And not only just because of how dominant the Alabama, it's just because of how depleted LSU is. And this is not shots at LSU. It's just, I don't know who's going to run out there on Saturday.
Do we get anybody?
Jack
Mashburn.
For sure.
Scholarship
Jack
player.
Mashburn got hurt, right? Wasn't he hurt a little bit? Not seriously hurt, but he got taken out of a game a couple weeks ago, the last game. But are we getting anybody back?
I think you get Cam Wire and Chasen Hines.
But defensively,
no,
because offensively, we have if we get our offensive line back, offensively, you have enough skill position players to go out there and do whatever. But defensively, we don't have a lot of guys to put back there right now, healthy.
It is overly concerning on who LSU is going to dress. Like we said, if you get a drone shot of the sidelines on Saturday, it is going to be as depressing of a scene for LSU at just the numbers standpoint. You're going to have 85 guys on Alabama's sideline that are locked and loaded, ready to play, and on LSU's sideline, there's going to have 52 guys with all of the headliners not even in attendance. It is going to be one of those Saturdays that if you don't have some type of investment, some type of play, some type of relative on the field, I don't know how you are interested at all.
Well, that's how it becomes high school football. It's I'm rooting for my relatives on the field. It's an all-time team, family game.
Do we get to the first quarter without it keeping it close?
No. I think that Saban is going to have so many kids on official visits this weekend. There's going to be so many recruits that are going to be in Tuscaloosa. There's going to be a great opportunity for him to sell the message of just what's happened since LSU left the last time. Can you
break it down right here on the goddamn field?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Can you imagine how much they're going to have Roll Tide, what fuck you playing throughout the Alabama locker room this week?
Oh, man.
And that being the last time that LSU and Ed Ogeron was there. Can you imagine how many times they're playing the scene of Ogeron breaking down the team on on midfield? I know that was awesome. And it was, during the time I was talking more shit than anybody. When Marcel Brooks ran over to the recruiting section of the Alabama crowd and was telling them to come to LSU,
and now
still to this day,
now he's not.
He gives me goosebumps. But now Alabama's crowd is spinning it and saying Marcel Brooks is playing for a TCU team that Gary Patterson just got fired. You see that? The TCU job's open.
Would you take Gary Patterson?
No. Hell no.
He just got fired from TCU.
Hell no. I know this. If I was in the head coaching game, I'd be after that TCU job. If I, what I mean? If I wasn't in the mix for the LSU job, if I wasn't that type of player, that type of name, I would want, because you can win at TCU.
Well, and
you can do just about whatever you want at TCU.
You can
with
go
the
5-5.
Yeah, and stay tucked away, but you could also
win.
get into the college football playoffs.
Yep, no doubt.
They get in those games?
Yes.
They get those week 1 games like LSU TCU. That sounds sexy.
But they're in a big conference.
And now we're at the point to where we're going to power rank
the
next LSU head coaches.
Yes, we can do. Do we have time? No. It's 8 o'clock. We'll do that at 8:15.
We'll circle
8:15 in 15 minutes. We will power rank the head coaches. It was an excellent weekend for Mel Tucker. It was a poor showing for Lane Kiffin.
Luke Fickell.
We will talk about Luke Fickell. We will talk about Billy Napier. We'll talk a little bit more about Jimbo Fisher. That all coming up here at 8:15 this morning as the Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by GoFlow IV and Spa. GoFlow, of course, right here on Jefferson Highway in Baton Rouge. Go check them out at GoFlowIV.com. I was over there last week going into the weekend and felt great, man. Slept great. If you've got problems with sleeping, dehydration, if you've got chronic illness that you're trying to get over to GoFlow IV, GoFlowIV.com. Skin, hair, beauty care help, hangover cures, chronic illness, athletic performance, all can help you with Baton Rouge's premier medical spa, specializing in IV hydration treatments with vitamin infusion. GoFlowIV.com. That is GEAUX, Flow. IV.com, GoFlowIV.com. When we come back, we'll talk to Jeff Duncan from NOLA.com, Times-Picayune. Coming up here, we'll talk to him about the Saints. We'll talk to him about what's life going to be like without Jameis for that Saints offense. Coming up here next on the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
That Scott Woodward looks so good.
He's not happy, but
gearing up for spring and summer down here in South Louisiana, and you want to keep your lawn maintained during these sunny seasons, get in touch with our friend Blake Abear over at Abear's Lawn Maintenance, where he says, you grow it, I mow it. 225-485-8022. 225-485-8022 is where you can find Abear's Lawn and Maintenance, the official lawn and maintenance company of the undisclosed location. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's TRU, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. TRU, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in LaPlace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Welcome back to the Jordy Culotta Show here for the second hour of this Monday edition. Sports gaming getting up and operating here in the state of Louisiana today. We will be over at LeBear's this afternoon for the ribbon cutting ceremony at 3:30 for their sports book. Got to bet on Monday Night Football, right? Chiefs seem a little vulnerable.
Who is it, Chiefs and who?
Giants.
What's the spread?
I don't know that. Look it up on Barstool Sportsbook. BarstoolSportsbook.com. Yesterday, if you're looking at if you're reading the paper here on this All Saints Day on this November 1st, shout out to the anniversary of the New Orleans Saints. A great Houdat picture with Trevor Simian fist pumping into the Caesars Palace Superdome crowd. Jeff Duncan is the lead writer on that article on the front page of the Times-Picayune New Orleans Advocate. He is kind enough to join us here on this Monday morning. What a scene, sir, yesterday in the Big Easy. Happy Halloween. Happy All Saints Day. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Jordy. Yeah, it's a quick turnaround, but I think people in New Orleans are going to enjoy this Monday a little more than normal today.
It was a fantastic scene when when P.J. Williams grasped that Tom Brady pass and took it back to the house. The dome exploded. It felt a little retro in there yesterday. Paint the scene to what you saw yesterday in that 36-27 win.
Well, it really was the first time, Jordy, that I felt like the Superdome was really back to, its kind of infamous reputation of being the most hostile venue in the league. It'd been since 2019 that we really had a full capacity crowd. I know that they played the Giants earlier this year, but there was a lot of no-shows for that game, way more than normal because of the COVID restrictions. That announced crowd was a sellout, but it was much less than that, and it was decidedly less noisy. You could just tell with the afternoon kickoff, the high-profile Tampa Bay Bucks coming to town with Tom Brady. Everyone was amped for that game. It's the first real big game we've had since the playoffs in 2019. And, it was lit. The whole game, I felt like – I don't know what Sean Payton was talking about afterwards. He said it was unremarkable. I don't know anybody.
Maybe he's just trying to piss him off a little bit more for the
– we were feeding the frenzy,
we were saying that looks like a little Payton 101 psychology where he tries to piss you off to get the best out of you. Like, Coach, what else do you want, man?
Yeah, no.
A quarterback?
There's definitely no question that he was a little irked. He was getting booed by the home crowd for some of his play calling there in that last sequence, and that probably was a response. That's a defiant Sean Payton move, but he was misguided in that comment, no question.
Jeff, we read one of your tweets this morning, and we were talking about the defense, and you gave the numbers of Dennis Allen's group versus Tom Brady over the last 21 games or over that time span. The Saints have played him 3 times, and they've taken the ball away from him 7 times in 114 attempts. Why is Dennis Allen having so much success against the best to ever do it?
Well, I think they've really got a good formula, and they probably have the perfect kind of defensive personnel to execute it. They can get pressure with their front four. They've got a veteran, smart defense. They're really not having to rely on too many young players in key situations. I noticed yesterday they played Quan Alexander and Bradley Roby even more than they have going in past games. I think trying to get a little more veteran presence against a guy like Tom Brady. And their secondary is just playing lights out right now, guys. I mean, they're playing as good a pass defense as I've ever seen the Saints play. And that's saying something because they've had some great secondaries over the years back in the Super Bowl days. But they're making it tough for every quarterback in the league. And, look, they gave up a lot of yards. They had some busted coverages, some explosive plays. But that might be the best offense that they're going to play all year, that they played a Hall of Fame quarterback. You're going to give up some plays. You got to make some plays yourself, and they certainly did it.
You talked about the Saints defense a little bit. Are they the biggest menace in maybe NFL football where teams just don't want to play them at all because of how much shit they talk between, and it all seems to be between the lines, like they do it from snap to snap, not after. It just seems like a lot of teams don't really want to have to play the Saints when they're rolling like that, and the dome was the way it was yesterday.
Well, you could tell that Tampa Bay came in with that defiant attitude themselves. I mean, this thing got chippy early. I think they knew what they were getting into. They knew it was going to be an emotional game. Devin White got into it really right off the bat with Mark Ingram. Mike Evans on the other side of the ball got into it with Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. So I think they came in with the approach, we were not going to get pushed around in this game, and I think it actually came back to haunt them. They had several personal foul penalties after the whistle, late hits on the quarterback. Some of them you could question if they were good calls or not. but the penalty disparity, 11 penalties for 99 yards on Tampa, the Saints had 2, was a big difference in the game. And I think when this rematch occurs down in Tampa, I think you'll see a much more composed, disciplined Tampa team because they really hurt themselves yesterday in some key situations.
Jeff, obviously, I feel for Jameis and I feel for, him going down, but it just looks like, after he got hurt, it looks like the guys, like how much of an impact he's made on the guys around him, and they just feel like they rallied around him, to kind of pull that victory out. And then obviously Sean, working magic with Trevor Siemian. Can you talk a little bit about the impact that Jameis has in the locker room and how much love he has from the guys on the team?
Well, I think we saw it all exhibited yesterday in the wake of his injury. I've never seen that many players stream into an injury tent during a game the way they did for Jameis Winston yesterday. At one point, I think there were 4 players in there. That's a very small tent to have 4 players in with the medical personnel as well. It speaks to, I think, just how beloved he is in the locker room. I think everyone knew how big that game was for Jameis Winston, and everyone knows how big this season is for him. I mean, he's on a 1-year contract. He was playing terrific. This was going to be a crossroads season for him, and it was all materializing for him. And then to go down with an injury, what looks like a season-ending injury. We don't know the full reports yet, but it doesn't look good. And when Sean Payton says it's significant, that's usually the worst-case scenario. So I think everyone, the outpouring from the players and coaches was expected. It's not a good situation for Jameis, and certainly this team's going to have to rally around whoever is in at quarterback over the next few games, but I don't think it's going to be anybody as talented or as capable as Jameis Winston.
Jeff Duncan is the author of Payton and Brees, the men who built the greatest offense in NFL history. Jeff, I think yesterday was a great testament to that in Sean Payton. Not that we forget his greatness or maybe even take his greatness for granted, but how he had Trevor Simian prepared for that moment and how Siemian responded, I thought was telling on just how well coached the Saints are. What did you make of Simian's performance and what that says about the head coach and his offensive mind?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, to me, Sean Payton is coaching as well as he ever has and maybe better than anybody in the NFL. I mean, he refuses to make excuses for injuries. Refuses to allow his team to play the victim card. And look, I don't want to disparage anybody, but when you start hearing other teams bring up injuries and then you see how the Saints react to injuries and not allow it to derail their plan and not allow it to be an excuse, I think it's a direct byproduct of the mindset of the head coach. And I also think it's important to note the Saints have really emphasized the last few years their quarterback position. I think it all started with Teddy Bridgewater. They've emphasized that they have to have good quarterback play up and down the depth chart there. And I think holding on to a guy like Trevor Siemian, who's won games in the NFL, is an experienced, smart play caller and understands this system very well, I think you have to tip your hat to them. They didn't go cheap there. They're paying a veteran guy. They kept 4 quarterbacks along with Ian Book. That costs money at a key position. And it paid off for them yesterday because Siemian was so poised. It wasn't too big for him, the stage and the moment, and he responded. Now we're going to see how they react from here. Obviously, a lot will go into how Taysom Hill recovers from his concussion, but it's going to be interesting to see how they address the quarterback position.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, what are the options? What do you feel? Did they shop the market at all?
I don't think so. I think they go with what they have. They may bring in another quarterback. I doubt they would, though. I think they'll probably just have the 3 on the roster they have. I would imagine a lot's going to depend on who plays next week will depend on Taysom Hill's health. And they'll probably have to determine that, have a good idea today or tomorrow, because that's when the game plan goes in tonight and tomorrow. And they want to know who the starting quarterback is, obviously, to tailor the game plan to his skill set. Taysom Hill has such a unique skill set. He would be the starter if he's healthy. There's no doubt about it. But we don't know that. He has to get through the concussion protocols, and that's a fluid situation.
Would you call Cam Newton? Would you work him out?
No. I would be shocked at that. I don't know. He doesn't really – his skill set does not fit what Sean Payton wants in a quarterback, and I think there's a reason he's been sitting there on the market for a long time without anybody calling him.
Not only that, but do you think because of after bringing Mark Ingram in, do you think the chemistry is just right? And a big personality like Cam doesn't seem like it would jive really well with what the Saints have going right now, right?
I don't know what the infatuation is with Cam Newton, to be honest with you. I don't know. He didn't play well in New England. He didn't play well at all in Carolina his last year or two. The Saints like their quarterbacks. I mean, I think that's pretty apparent. If they wanted Cam Newton, they would have called him before today. I don't think that's a guy that really is a factor at all. Now, they'll probably sign him tomorrow and make me look bad. But I'll be shocked if it's Cam Newton.
How special or how cool was it to see Mark Ingram come back in the Dome? I saw the video of his introduction, and it just seems like he just gave a huge jolt to the Superdome, and I mean it was pretty cool to see on my side, but I can't imagine how it was inside the Dome.
Well, he brings great energy and I think a presence on and off the field, and he fits like a glove into that role that he's playing. I mean, he's going to be, I think, their short yardage back and goal line back until Taysom Hill comes back. And he was productive when he was out there, and they need more of that. If they can get that out of Mark Ingram the rest of the season, there's not any drop off when you take Alvin Kamara off the field. And I think Sean Payton felt that before that's why he was playing Alvin Kamara so much. There was just a noticeable drop off in talent when he came off. And I think it was a great signing. They really didn't have to give up much. And this is a guy that stepped in seamlessly, knowing the offense and can play on all three downs, which is also critical for the Saints.
Good to see the impact David Onyemata had yesterday on the defense and getting him back.
Yeah, he has a domino effect. Yeah. Inside, he creates mismatches with opposing offensive linemen that kind of has a spillover effect to the outside. So now the Saints' defensive line is back to full force. We saw it yesterday. I mean, they didn't get a ton of pressure, but they got enough to kind of force Tom Brady into some mistakes that he normally doesn't make. And that's a good offensive line they were going against as well. I think that matchup yesterday between the Bucs offensive line and the Saints defensive line was key to the game. And I thought the Saints were able to pressure Brady without having to bring too many blitzes. And that led to some of those big turnovers.
One more on the Saints, and I'll get you out of here. I appreciate your time. Jeff Duncan, as always, joining us here on this Monday morning. He is on Twitter at Jeff_Duncan. You can find his lead column this morning on the front page of the Times-Picayune and NOLA.com, celebrating yesterday's New Orleans Saints win over the Bucs in dramatic fashion inside of the Caesars Palace Superdome. Ceiling on the Saints with Siemian. Can they reach everything they wanted to yesterday morning going in to the rest of the year with Siemian at the quarterback spot?
Boy, I don't know. That's a tough question. I mean, it's one thing to come into a game and do it the way he did. It's another thing to carry it out over the course of a full season. And I don't know if, like I said, I don't think it will be Trevor Siemian. Matter of fact, I know it won't be Trevor Siemian. It's going to be Taysom Hill when he gets back. And whether he's back this week or not, I think Trevor Siemian can hold down the fort, especially this week with a battered Atlanta team coming to town. You get them in the Dome. That should be a game that they can win, whoever's at quarterback there. But I think it's going to be Taysom Hill if this is a season-ending injury. And that is going to be an interesting experiment, whether he can carry this team to how far they want to go. But with this defense, special teams, and how well coached they are, I think they're definitely can make a mark and get into the playoffs. I don't know if they can win the division with this setback.
Everybody is glued to the Saints, obviously, on this run right now. But if you were paying attention over the weekend, Zion was working out for the first time, and Jeffrey, he looked like a house moving laterally. What do we expect from Zion Pelicans here early on in the Willie Green days?
Well, it's tough. I mean, they're tied for the worst record in the league right now. They're getting ready to go on a West Coast trip. I don't see a win on that West Coast trip. I mean, they could be 1-7 or 1-9 or 1-10 here early on, and I just think they've lost the enthusiasm and the confidence of the fan base. And you're right. I mean, unfortunately, with the injuries Zion's had, he can't do much cardio. I know he could do some pool work, but it's not the same as getting on the treadmill. And that's why I think he's had the weight gain. It's definitely a setback and a disappointing start to the season. And I don't know how much longer Pelicans fans can continue to try and be patient and optimistic, considering all the promises that this thing's finally going to get turned around. I think they've got some work to do as far as gaining the trust and enthusiasm of the Pelicans fans, because it's just been year after year of the same empty promises.
Pick up your copy or get it online of the Times-Picayune and the New Orleans Advocate this morning. Right there on the front page, you see the big Who Dat title, and the write-up and column is the author, Jeff Duncan, who is here this morning. You can find him on Twitter, at @JeffDuncan_. Always appreciate the insight and the time. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks, guys. Yeah, have a great day, man. Appreciate you having me on.
Yes, sir. There he is, Jeff Duncan, checking in from down in New Orleans this morning. That conversation brought to you by Hebert's Specialty Meats. Hebert's, of course, 2 locations right here in Baton Rouge, opening up at Robert's Shopping Center, Robert's Grocery Store, right here in the Kenilworth Shopping Center, next door to Superior Bar and Grill on Highland Road. If you are looking for specialty meats, if you're thinking about tailgating this weekend, or if you just need something to eat on this week for the family, pick up the deboned stuffed chicken, which Hebert's is known for. They've got great selections of boudin and crackling to choose from, and all the specialty meats, steaks, T-bones, ribeyes, fillets. They've also got hamburgers there for you in the freezer. Hebert's over on Highway 73 in Gonzales, and right here in Baton Rouge on Highland Road, located in Robert's Grocery Store on Highland in Baton Rouge. HebertsMeats.com online. We appreciate Jeff Duncan for stopping in and adding a little insight there to the New Orleans Saints and Pelicans. If you saw Zion work out over the weekend, it just does not look good, man. It does not look like anything is happening on the front that's going to get him back.
To Christmas. He's right for Thanksgiving.
I mean, he is 320-ish right now. I mean, he looks like Oliver Miller. I mean, he looks huge. His shoulders are just
it's like Spice Adams playing basketball.
Dude, it's so depressing to see that. That athlete, that player, just so out of shape and not even close to being back to full status.
If you're him and this is your move to get out of New Orleans, how confident are you in yourself to be able, like, I can get up to 320?
You know, you're 20.
And then I could lose.
I mean, remember
pounds.
this. I mean, we've all been 20 in this room at one point in our life. I mean, you
way.
can do anything you want and feel like you are right back. I mean, didn't it feel like if somebody was like, hey, you got to get back in shape in 2 weeks at 20 years old, you can get back in shape.
I don't know if he's doing it. I don't think he's purposely doing it to get out of New Orleans.
Mikey, he is doing it on purpose.
He's not gaining weight on purpose. Like, maybe he's taking his time to come back, but he's not gaining weight.
I agree with that. I don't think that he's trying to, like, physically put himself down.
He's not White Goodman, and like he's not being White Goodman.
But
that's what the hell?
That scene with him and R.J. Barrett.
He is fat.
Him and R.J. Barrett over the weekend. I mean, you could tell
he's making a point. This is his move, like the Ben Simmons thing, and his move is just being apathetic. Zion is like, what's the biggest knock on Zion to you
right now?
Just before he even came out.
I never see him.
His weight. And so what's the best way to get my way out of New Orleans?
I don't
gain weight.
I don't see. I mean, I get what you're saying. I think that
it is very hard to do. It's very hard to turn down $200 million of guaranteed money and bet on yourself. And that's what Zion is going to have to do. He's going to look $200 million in the face
and spit at
compared to $12 million in one season. And he's going to have to say, that is guaranteed money that I am going to walk away from. You know the balls that it takes to walk away from $200 million. Nobody's ever done it. For as upset as Simmons was, for as upset as Anthony Davis we perceived him to be in New Orleans, nobody has ever walked away from that contract and that number, because when it just comes down to the brass tacks of it and business decision, how the hell do you do it? You're talking about generational money, man. I mean, you're talking about your grandkids not having to pay for their tuition, and compared to saying, I don't like that, I want to go to New York City.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just to say that, just because you want to go to New York, that's a hell of a gamble, man. That's a hell of a gamble.
And you're watching it happen in front of your eyes.
Yeah, but it's one thing to bet on yourself. Like, hey, I had a bad year. I'm going to bet on myself to have a good year with some other team and get a max deal. It's another thing to bet on yourself coming back from injuries when you haven't been healthy yet. So what gives you the confidence in yourself to say, you know what, I'm going to make it through this year and stay healthy and be able to show everyone why I was the number one pick? Like, that's a risky move.
Well, it's potential. Like Zion Williamson, you've seen how good he can be. So
that's never been the question. The question is how can he stay on the court?
Right. And so if you're him, what's my move? If he does, it doesn't seem like he wants to be in New Orleans. Like, everything behind the scenes, obviously there's things.
Well, there's opt-outs.
Yeah. But like you said, nobody has ever turned this deal down. So what do? I balloon up to 315, which is he's tractor trailer. Like, he's a monster. And if you're him, this is the move. Like, you just get a little bit big, and then he knows that he can lose it because he's 23 years old.
Lloyd's a conspiracy theorist.
He's to the 10th degree.
Yep.
I mean,
do you think he's with New Orleans next year?
I do, because I don't think that he can turn down that amount of money.
New Orleans is in New Orleans next year?
Oh,
yes. If Zion is with New Orleans, they're in New Orleans. And Gail Benson is committed to New Orleans. She's not going to allow one of Tom Benson's franchises to leave the city under her watch. It's just not happening. She promised that to him on his deathbed. She is a loyal sports owner that is very good at what she does, and I take her for that. I take her on her word for that she's never going to. She's got more money than she knows what to do with. She can keep the Pelicans here single-handedly if she wants to do it, and she made that promise to her dying husband that she was going to do that. And
you can't play that. How can I argue against that?
Well, I mean, because that's the facts.
You can't go deathbed.
I mean, how many times has she said that? She has said, how many times has she said, we are committed to the city, both with the Pelicans and the Saints franchise, because they've been asked numerous times. I mean, are you going to take this Pelicans franchise and relocate it to Seattle? Are you going to move this? Are you going to allow this franchise to exist in New Orleans forever? And as long as she's in ownership, as long as her group is in power, the Pelicans and the Saints aren't going anywhere. I mean, they're not, because she told Tom Benson she wasn't going to allow it to happen. And I believe her. I mean, I don't. What
I'm about to go conspiracy again? Didn't Tom want to move the Saints to San Antonio?
Yeah, well, because at the
same. Now all of a sudden he's like, wait, don't move any of the teams.
2004.
Yeah, this is before the
2004. I was at Tiger Stadium walking down the ramp when Tom Benson came out of his suite the elevator from the suites and was walking down, and people were F-Uing Tom Benson. I mean, like, hey, throwing drinks at him. F you. It was when Saban took the Dolphins back to Tiger Stadium and coached against, this is during Katrina stuff, and he was threatening to move the Saints to San Antonio because he couldn't get the deal done. And then once they got the money straight, they got the Brees situation, and the Saints fan base had a 20-year waiting list for tickets for Tom Benson's franchise. The state was building and adding on everything that they needed to do for the dome to keep it. I mean, that totally changed the relationship between Benson and the state. Never again did he ever threaten to go anywhere. In fact, when the Pelicans were threatening to be sold off and be, moved, he stepped in and said, I don't know anything about basketball, but I have the money. If y'all really want it, I'll buy it. And everybody's like, yeah, please, keep it. And he was like, all right. That's why the first couple of years, he cuts a check, and he's got the football staff running the Pelicans.
They still do that.
Yeah, but they've now hired basketball people. They've hired the wrong basketball people, but they have at least, it's not Dennis Losha and Mickey Loomis working out basketball free agents. You know what I mean?
How about that dynamic?
I mean, that's
You're
crazy.
You play 5 people at the same time
That's
on
crazy.
both sides of the ball?
I mean, Randy Livingston, who's the head coach at Newman, would tell me, he'd be like, you know what the NBA people are saying about the Pelicans? He's like, I mean, they got football people working out basketball guys. I mean, what are they doing? It was a joke. But, I mean, it shows you Benson's love for the city. Like, hey, y'all want this basketball franchise? Like, yeah, we want it. All right, here, shit, take it.
Must be nice.
Well, that's a lot of that's fuck you money.
It is.
It is.
And he's got it to the loudest.
But I'm not wrong, right? Didn't he not want to? Like,
yes.
I don't want to. Okay. Exactly.
No, he absolutely pre-Katrina.
Yeah, he was a businessman. He bought it to flip
the Saints
it.
were not. They were a sinking ship pre-Katrina, and then
True.
It got fixed quick.
Yes,
quick.
I mean, real quick.
And now Drew's coming back. It's unbelievable.
Rohan's going to be here in a couple of minutes, and we were talking stock up, stock down for LSU football coaches. And before he gets here, we'll talk. Mel Tucker had a great weekend.
Stock up.
stock up on Mel Tucker and Michigan State. I watched that game. His team's pretty impressive. His running back is a legitimate
how many
player.
Does he have 5?
I mean, he's gonna win the Heisman.
4. He could win the Heisman. Corral got hurt on Saturday night versus Auburn. Looks like he's kind of starting to play his way out of that discussion. Bryce Young does not feel like a Heisman winner. Kenny Pickett. They got beat. They got beat by Miami.
Yeah.
I thought about you when I saw that.
He did. But how did he play?
He played
not good enough to win.
He didn't make a play at the end. I mean, he had chances at the end to have a Heisman moment and didn't make them.
Right.
Kenneth Walker is the running back from Michigan State. Man, he looked. I never heard of Kenneth Walker before Saturday.
Well, the first game of the year, I think he scored like 4 or 5 touchdowns, and I think Mel Tucker brought him in from the portal.
He did.
So that's like when you talk
Wake
about
Forest. I think
yes,
it was a Wake Forest
think
transfer.
So.
Yes.
But when you talk, wouldn't it be refreshing for a running back to win the Heisman again? Because it feels like it's just been a quarterback run. It's been so heavy.
Who's the last one?
Derek for last year.
Who's the last one? Did Derrick Henry win it? Who's the last?
I said the same thing. I think Derrick Henry's the last running back to. That should have been Leonard's Heisman.
Yeah.
But he's the last running back to.
Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the last running back to win a Heisman. And then, like you said, Devonta Smith at wide receiver
last year. But yeah, I mean, it's a quarterback, especially now with the way football is and how you had such a passing league. That's a quarterback award. I mean,
I know, but I think this might be the time.
No, you're right. There's not this quarter. They're not a quarterback. You're like, man, this guy's lighting it up.
And if we're going power rankings, power up. If Mel Tucker almost didn't win that game, they were in a dogfight, and then there was a lot of times where it seemed like Michigan State was not going to win that game. If they lose,
it was a good showing for him.
Let me say this: it's not about the win and loss.
Nope.
It doesn't. If you win the game, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're the better coach. In my opinion, I think it's how the team plays. His sideline. I love the way he coaches the game, bro.
Well.
Like he's in it.
Yep.
Those 3 timeouts at the end, calling it, and he was like even saying on that 3rd timeout, it looked like Michigan did something illegal, and he was like Saban.
Yeah.
On the in the efficient, and he was confident that he was right. I love the way he kind of handled his quarterback after a turnover when he met him out there. And look, man, I'm not here to say that I'm moving my flag from Napier to Tucker, but I thought that Tucker on Saturday was very impressive. I thought the way his team played, the way he carried himself, the discipline on the side. I just thought that Michigan State and Mel Tucker were very impressive on Saturday. Now, Lane Kiffin has always been one of our top choices here in the Jordy Culotta Show. I thought it was very unimpressive for him on Saturday. He did lose his quarterback. He did lose Matt Corral on the road at Auburn. Auburn is kind of sneaky kind of a story.
Sneaky good. They're making the Iron Bowl a sneaky good game. Coming up. I mean, not coming up, but in a few weeks.
But did we not
stock down?
Did we not
stock down for Kiffin?
Absolutely. But did we not call that line the stinkiest line of the year? We're like, why is this only 3
What
points?
about that Mississippi State Kentucky?
Did both.
Line.
Boy.
I mean, talk about a stinky line.
Stinks.
Oh man.
And Mississippi State rolls Kentucky. Like that game was never close in the second half.
So LSU beats Mississippi State, loses to Kentucky, beats Florida.
Loses to Ole Miss.
Loses to Ole Miss. Ole Miss loses to.
We almost beat Auburn. Probably we should have beat
Auburn.
Auburn.
They should have beat Auburn.
And then Ole Miss loses to Auburn.
Yeah.
This makes no sense.
It's wacky SEC West.
Wacky West.
So
give
stock
your 3.
down on Kiffin. Stock up for probably the biggest rate of return this weekend. Stock going through the roof. Dave Aranda,
stock up.
Dave Aranda, stock soaring.
They were
soaring.
They were down. They were kind of a little sluggish, and then they put it on them in the second half.
Another just impressive football team.
Yep.
Like when you are just watching Baylor play, sideline demeanor, the way that they kind of execute, the way the defense flies around, the attitude they play. They think they're good. Absolutely. The confidence that they play with.
I mean, they were going up against a running back. Bijan Robinson is it Robinson?
Yeah.
Bijan.
Is it Robinson?
Great sports show.
Yeah, we're dialed in.
But he was a Heisman candidate, and they shut him down.
I was just impressed by not only Baylor's ability to. Obviously, the defense is always going to travel with Dave Aranda, and I know that.
Bijan Robinson.
Bijan Robinson, perfect.
We're on there. Yeah, great sports show.
Great sports show. But I'm just impressed by Dave Aranda because obviously we know what he brings on the defensive side of the table, and where college football is now, it's hard to find okay, he's good at defense when you give up 35 points a game.
Yeah.
Like that's where we are now, and for him to be able to kind of. He has that whole thing bought in.
He's got the whole thing.
The offense is good.
Well, the offense is good too. Like he's not just the defensive guy where you're not going to score. Like no, like their offense was innovative. They were moving guys around. They were making plays. Like they look good.
He understands his strengths and weaknesses. Yes. He understands what he's good at. He understands what he needs help with. I mean, I think that Jeff Grimes looks like a potential head coach in the next 3 years.
He was at LSU.
I know he was. But, I mean, and when he was here, he was a really good offensive line coach. He got the OC job at BYU, which is what made him move. But, I mean, the way they execute, the way they get plays in on time. It looks like Dave Aranda
as a football team.
They're very much an impressive team to watch. So stock up for Dave Aranda. Stock up for Mel Tucker.
Are we doing top 3 or top 5? What's your top 3?
My top 3
still sticking,
first and foremost, and I told this to everybody that's asked me over the weekend, anybody that asked me, anybody that tells you that they know is lying to you. Nobody knows who the top 3 are, who the guy is. Scott Woodward is operating and performing in silence here.
I know people. I heard a lot of rumblings this weekend about Jimbo.
A lot of Jimbo Fisher.
I know Jimbo's coming back in there, and look, I know Lloyd. This is Lloyd.
Conspiracy Lloyd.
Lloyd thinks Jimbo's coming. I just don't. I don't know. Like Jimbo's been great. I just don't know if he would be the guy. I mean,
the no buyout is such a red flag. Like if you look at it from Jordy, like say like $1,000 or 1,000-foot view. If we weren't LSU fans or like invested in the team, if you looked at that and you just connect the dots between Scott Woodward's at A&M, no buyout. They both love Baton Rouge. Scott Woodward ends up in Baton Rouge, and do you not think that they had a little handshake deal of him going, if I get back to Baton Rouge, there's no reason for him not to have a buyout.
That's a serious
Out of all the conspiracies you've thrown against the wall today, that might be the one that's the tightest.
Yep.
But if I'm here's what I would say to Jimbo Fisher. If I am Jimbo Fisher, why in the hell would I leave College Station where, like he said last week, I got ranches here, I hunt here, I got money here, I got business here, I love it here. I absolutely love it here. Everybody's embraced me here. They love my charity, all this stuff. Why would I come to where I beat Alabama? Fisher beats Alabama, and he's going to have
such a good Jimbo.
He's going to have a locker room named after him now when he leaves there, when he retires, because of just that win alone. They are now fully bought into the Jimbo train. There's no pressure over there. And Jimbo knows if he was doing that same stuff in Baton Rouge, they'd want to run his ass out of here on the first train leaving town.
I think he wants that.
Does he want that?
Does he, though?
Hell yeah.
At that age?
He's an alpha, dude. He wants, because you want that feeling of like, there's no pressure at A&M because A&M stinks. There's no reason. He's the only reason they're relevant. Scott Woodward and Jimbo Fisher are the only reason that A&M is anything. Bring him to Baton Rouge.
Maybe so. But if I'm Jimbo, where is he? 56?
56.
He's 56. He's paid. He can get anything he wants from a facility standpoint. He makes one call, he gets it. He, I guess, is getting the recruits he wants, right? I mean, like he's got to be getting the players if he's beating Alabama. And I don't think that LSU is as attractive to him as it once was. I mean, if it is,
or do you think is he as attractive to LSU as he once was?
To me, he's not.
I'm with you. I'm with you. I think he's a great coach, and if he was a coach at LSU, like I think he'd have some success here. But I don't think he's the best guy we can get.
No, I don't either. And but I'm like you. I heard his name all weekend. And when people ask me for my top 3, here are my top 3 choices for LSU's head coach. Number 1 would be Lincoln Riley, because Lincoln Riley feels like something that Scott Woodward would be doing right now. That feels like the type of deal that he's probably putting together behind the scenes. I don't know that. I've not been told that. I've heard his name a couple of times from some people that I trust. And once I heard it twice from the same person that's really high up the ladder, I was thinking to myself, you know what? That's probably the guy. Because that feels exactly like Scott Woodward.
The most Woodward thing ever.
Not only do you go get the high-profile guy, but you hurt somebody else in your conference with Oklahoma coming in. You pluck away their top soldier. So to me, Lincoln Riley's number 1, Billy Napier is number 2, and Dave Aranda is number 3 on my list. Right now, as we operate today, it seems like Mel Tucker is making a push. Mm-hmm. And Tucker could end up, if there was a 3A, he feels like he would be right there at 3A. So, I mean, the top 3 guys that I have on my list to get the job, I'm not saying that, if you're asking me who's going to get the job, My top 3 would be in this order: Lincoln Riley, Billy Napier, and Dave Aranda. And if there was a, one who's close, it would be Mel Tucker for me.
See, I'm with you. Like, I would love if I don't believe in my heart of hearts
the look you just gave me
that Lincoln Riley is gonna he's gonna be the guy. But if that is a true, really, like, a possibility, he would be my number 1. But if I don't believe it. I'm not sold on it yet. So my top 3 would be Napier, Aranda, and Tucker. That's my top 3.
So Jimbo just doesn't make the cut.
I'm not putting Jimbo in there either.
I'm not putting Jimbo in there either. I'm not buying the Jimbo hype until it starts
I'll wear it.
steaming down the tracks. And to me, it feels like nothing but a smokescreen at this point.
I'll take the backlash on, like, man, you were so, like, if he hires him, I'll take that. But I just don't see it.
Who's your top 3?
Here we go. Jumbo.
No. I'm going to go. I think it is Lincoln. I hope it's Lincoln, because that would be. Is that not the biggest Scott Woodward move of all time?
It is.
No doubt.
And the second biggest Scott Woodward move of all time would be. I feel bad talking about it because I feel like I'm in his pocket. Like, he's going to get mad at me. Scott, sorry. It's Jimbo. It is Lincoln Riley, Jimbo Fisher, and then Billy.
Okay.
Billy is the safest one that you can obviously, like, he would come no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like in my mind,
he'll always
say yes. Jimbo Fisher will also say yes. Lincoln Riley is the biggest swing for the fence you can take. And if you get Jimbo, and the fact that LSU fans think that you don't want Jimbo Fisher at LSU is absurd in my mind, because look at the clown show it's been. Les Miles, national championship, went to 2 of them. Ed Orgeron, best team of all time maybe in college football history, national championship, clown show. Jimbo Fisher is steady, good, and knows the area, loves the area, and he's best friends with Scott Woodward. Like, this makes sense. Look, buyout.
I'm not disagreeing.
Makes so much sense in the world.
I'm not disagreeing with you, and it does make a lot of sense. And they have a relationship, and I just don't see it. I don't know.
With you.
I just don't see it.
Another big name that has popped up around this job is Matt Rule, and Rule is the Carolina Panthers head coach.
And
he was asked about this on Friday. Remember, Rule coached at Temple, and he led Temple to a 28-23 record. After his success there, he moved on to the Big 12 and took over the Baylor job, which at the time, Baylor was in the graveyard. This is what he had taken over from Art Briles, and Briles had put the Baylor football program into, just embroiled it in controversy. And he led Baylor to a 19-20 record, including a trip to the Sugar Bowl, which I know that is not a winning record, but you have to understand where Baylor was when he took the job. I mean, he brought them back to life in a place that they were dead. And now Rule has just signed, back in 2020, a 7-year, $60 million contract with the Carolina Panthers, where he is 8-15 up to this point. He's on a 4-game losing streak right now with the Panthers, actually. And he was asked about some job rumors on Friday, and this was his answer. He said, I have one of the greatest jobs that you can have. I left an unbelievable job at Baylor with a long-term contract and great people and a great place to come to in Carolina. You don't get to say what you like to build and then get upset that you didn't inherit something, Rule explained. We're building something here right now, and I can't wait to get the job done. When asked about the potential of leaving Carolina for the LSU opening, as he was asked that pretty directly on Friday in his last press briefing before the game on Sunday. So we'll see.
Pretty matter-of-fact answer. Like, he didn't really leave anything open there. Yeah, you don't know, but, like, it wasn't like the answer. It wasn't like
a non-answer answer.
Yeah, it wasn't like the Jimbo initial answer. It wasn't like it wasn't like the James Franklin answer. Like, this one was pretty like.
And can we all say that the James Franklin boat has sailed
for LSU? He wants to go to USC.
I mean, this guy
out of bounds.
He reminds me a lot of Dabo. He loves James Franklin.
James Franklin loves James Franklin.
It's almost like it's the Penn State Franklins. You know what I mean? Like the Dabo Sweeney Tigers. You know what I mean? Like, we get it, Coach. We understand, man. But
I'm just glad people stopped talking about. Are
we
going to get Dabo? Are we going to get Dabo?
Dabo and James Franklin, stay where you are.
I don't want them.
Stay where you are. That's fine.
I don't want either one of those. If LSU hired Dabo, I would be heartbroken.
I will say this. If they were able to get Matt Rule, That would be a grand slam.
That would be a grand slam.
That'd be huge hire.
Which dovetails into, does he bring Joe Brady with him back to college? Where would he go? Because they haven't looked that impressive. He's not the hottest name in the street anymore.
He inherited a team with the best players, the running back, and the best player's been out for 2 years.
Get him a quarterback. His offense. What are we debating? That he doesn't know offense? That he doesn't know how to scheme offense? They showed him
in the booth a lot yesterday.
Yeah. Because you know why? Because people know about him. People know. I mean, his name is in networks. His name is being discussed. His name is going to be on a big job soon. I mean, people see that. He is a young Sean Payton. Look at the way they call plays. I mean, they call plays a lot like Payton was calling them in the last 3 minutes yesterday.
He just didn't have the guys.
He just didn't have the dudes.
Like you said, he's building it. They're building it there. I don't know. I don't see him leaving either, but that would be a grand slam.
Huge.
Yeah.
That'd be a mega hire.
32 years old.
Joe Brady?
Yeah. It's wild.
All right, Rohan's going to be here in a couple of minutes, and we'll talk LSU Bama, I guess. I mean, I don't know what we can really talk about, but we'll talk. How about Woodlawn beat Catholic High on Friday night? That was a huge upset in high school football on Friday.
We talked about last week how we didn't think Catholic High could get beat.
No, Ricky Collins, the Purdue committed quarterback, Rashard Matthews.
Purdue sneaky good.
The big defensive back was going one-on-one with Shelton Sampson and kind of had some success out there. So we'll talk to Rohan about those guys as he knows them pretty well here on the Jordy Culotta Show, where daily we are brought to you by Relief Med, RELEAF med.com, RELEAFmed.com. That is a website you need to get to right now. You can schedule your appointment with a doctor, whether it's online or face-to-face. If you suffer from things like chronic pain, depression, PTSD, or any other ailments, that you can find the entire list over at reliefmed.com. And I'm speaking about legalized medical marijuana here in the state of Louisiana, which is happening right now. You have heard a lot about all of the legislation around this, but now it's legal and it's open and to you. All you need to do is log online to RELEAF, that is reliefmed.com, RELEAFmed.com. It's a pretty simple process, man. You get the confidential online registration. You talk to a board-certified doctor via phone or video. You get approved, and you have your recommendation sent to the pharmacy closest to you. You arrive at the pharmacy, get a consult with a Louisiana board-certified pharmacist, and then get your products that you need. This is high standards and high quality of medical marijuana, 100% natural treatment for many ailments. It's grown right here locally at LSU and Southern on their campus. Get in touch with them today. RELEAFmed.com, reliefmed.com. If they ask you where you heard about it, tell them right here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We come back, we'll talk and close out LSU football. Tigers are going to go to Tuscaloosa this week. It's crazy. It's Alabama week. I mean, it does not feel like Bama week here in Baton Rouge. Usually these are some of the biggest and funnest and craziest weeks of our sports experience down here in South Louisiana. It feels very ho-hum here on this Monday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, going in to a Tuscaloosa tilt
night game
with 6 p.m.
What time did you want it to be? Would you
11?
11?
Absolutely.
Yeah, but you knew they weren't going to put Alabama at 11. I was hoping for a 2:30 game.
Oof.
Oh, that's even worse.
You didn't want that CBS,
right?
Because that's the most eyeballs. But I mean,
true.
even that 6 o'clock ESPN game is a very heavily watched game. I mean,
is there a bigger game that night? What's the schedule?
What is the 2:30 game?
I don't know. We'll check and see and let you know when we come back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.
Also, real quick, what a time we live in. You can get Relief Med, and you can gamble on sports legally now in Louisiana.
Yes.
Two great things. Well, yes. We've been doing
coming January 1st, they'll be offering you flower
power.
Legalized. Let's see here real quick. I got it pulled up. 2:30 Auburn at Texas A&M.
What's the spread?
I can't get you that. Let me get to barstoolsportsbook.com and I'll let you know when we come back. Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet. I'm not there. I'm just not there. Papa Earl's, the fine spice, originating right down here in South Louisiana by our guy Mark Pop Norman. Developed it back in 2018 and won Amazon's Newcomer of the Year in 2019. They pride themselves in having 30% less salt and sodium than the leading brands at the same price point. You can find them locally. Look for Papa Earl's at Rouse's, Calandro's, Mathern's, High Neighbor, and more. True Blue Water, true hydration at its finest. Right now, you're only a few minutes away from getting your 5-gallon water delivered to you, just like we are over here at the UDL. All you got to do is log on to truebluewater.com. That's T-R-U, bluewater.com. The website's fantastic over at truebluewater.com. You can get your service and find out how quick it is. You can schedule a delivery, even hop on the billing system right there at truebluewater.com. T-R-U, bluewater.com. Go Chevrolet is proud to announce Go Express Auto Sales, the new used car lot located in the capital city of Baton Rouge, Louisiana, at 11522 Florida Boulevard. Go Express Auto Sales is online at goexpressautosales.com, or you can search them on Facebook and social media at Go Express Auto Sales, the newest addition to the family of Go Chevrolet. Remember, Go Chevrolet is located down in Laplace, Louisiana, but now welcoming aboard Go Express, the new used car lot located in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at 11522 Florida Boulevard. It's all good, man. I'm your boy. Welcome back here to the Jordy Culotta Show, live, powered and driven by Go Chevrolet. Anybody keep up with Mincy this weekend?
Oh, but did you see him in New Orleans?
I did not see him in the flesh, but I did keep up with his social media, which
I know he's going at Steven Che, the guy.
Stephen Che?
Is that his name? Has to say Che?
Che.
Steve was going at him.
Yeah.
He's going at him. Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
My hitting coach this year, he's a big Bucks fan, so we're going at it back and forth a little bit. But he's a good fan to go with. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna come to Tampa. I don't know if I want to go to Tampa because I don't know if that game's gonna be as fun for the Saints as this one was. But
they're rowdy.
Yeah,
I do like.
They're winners.
You're walking into a Wasp den.
Everybody can be rowdy when you're winning. You know what I mean? Every fan base. Is that true?
That's very true.
But Tampa Bay's got to be a great sports town, huh? I mean, they're all winners.
Yeah,
like the hockey team wins.
Yeah, well, so the hockey thing there is they've embraced hockey. Like I almost call that a hockey town.
Really?
Like no, it's more of a football town, but like. You go to a Lightning game.
Florida Gators?
What?
Is that their team?
Florida Gators.
Yeah, but is that their...
No, the Lightning.
Tampa. No, but like their college football team. Oh, aren't they a big kind of...
I guess they would be... They probably would be more the Gators because it's not that far from Gainesville.
From Gainesville.
But the Tampa Bay Lightning games are freaking
I've
awesome.
heard that.
Longoria got us a suite one time.
Continue.
Don't
hurt your arm, pat yourself on the back.
Yeah, right.
But he got like the team when I was in Tampa. He got the team a suite for the game 6.
What a flex.
Game 6 of the
Stanley Cup
against the Penguins.
Damn,
bro.
Sydney
Kid, dude. It was awesome.
Really?
Yeah, it was great.
I've heard big time hockey games are as fun entertainment as like SEC.
I don't know.
Right, you don't know what you're watching.
Right, but it's cool.
And I mean like. The Rays went to the series a couple years ago.
The Rays need to get out of St. Pete.
Really?
Yeah, they need to go to Tampa. They're not in Tampa. So St. Pete's like 25-minute drive. You have to go over the bridge. Like nobody wants to drive, especially the younger guys. People don't want to drive. I like St. Pete.
It's like Bruley.
You don't want to go over the bridge.
You want to make this.
So why is Tampa such a successful organization? Because by baseball standards, they are uber successful, right?
Very successful, and they have a very, very low pay. They're the model that everybody tries to emulate, and it's just
but nobody can.
You can't do it.
Why?
And so, their player development is unbelievable. The way they use their analytics. So, when I was coming up there, they were known for developing pitching. They're still their pitching staff is still really good, but now they go out and trade for their pitchers. And they develop their hitters, right? So what I mean by that is they'll go out there and they'll make trades for these guys that are relatively unknown to some players, or some teams, but they have something that they're really good. Like this guy may have a really good spin rate, and this guy may have a really good slider. This guy may have a funky delivery, or we see something with this. Like for instance, they have a lefty that was 31 years old, right? He was up in the big leagues for a lot of the year, and he was in AAA a little bit. He was normally probably like an 88 to 90 mile an hour guy with a little bit of a cutter, just a normal stock lefty, nothing crazy. They saw something in him. They got him in a free agency minor league deal, like low cost, changed the grip on the ball and changed the way he delivered it, and now he was throwing 96 mile an hour fastballs that had ride up and in with a nasty hard slider cutter thing that was 87. So he was throwing his cutter that was almost as hard as his fastball, but now he has a hard fastball with ride, and he was super successful. So they find these guys and say, okay, this is what you do really well. We're gonna make you do that. That's how you're gonna
do
pitch.
It better.
So if you look at their bullpens, they go and trade guys, and they have, and if anybody's watching it, you'll be able to see, but they have, it's almost like a clock. So you have righties and lefties, and they have angles. They have different guys with different arm angles. They go from top all the way to submarine, both sides, like funky, and then they use what they're good at, and they put them in the perfect situation for them to succeed. But they trade for those pitchers. They also are unbelievable with trades and doing that. And
is that their GM?
Yeah, that's their GM
culture.
And that's their analytic team. But now they have hitters that they draft, and now they've figured out how to use that development with these guys. So they're developing all of these hitters that come up, and then now they'll go get a couple pieces to mix in. But that's the
formula.
Yeah, that's the perfect mix.
Because I read and hear baseball terms in baseball people they're always talking about Tampa like they are
like
almost the gold standard.
Which is kind of like the Oakland Athletics.
Yeah. It was the Athletics for a while.
Yeah, and Tampa does it a little bit better than them, to be honest with you. I mean, Tampa's, Oakland's really good at what they do, but Tampa is, it
seems like they're better at the scouting part of it.
That's the thing, because if you go look at
they're more analytical. Oakland is, right?
Yeah. Right. And if you go look at all of their minor league systems this year, they were the number one minor league teams in every division they were in. They won all championships except for AA, which they lost in the last game.
Wow.
In the championship.
So
they do that, and they do they spend money. They don't spend money on free agents, but they spend a lot of money on player development. Like, for instance, their AAA staff, right? They treat that like a big league staff. So in the big leagues, you have your manager, you have your bench coach, you have your hitting coach, you have assistant hitting coach, you have a bullpen coach, or you have a did I say pitching? No, I didn't say pitching coach. You have a pitching coach, you have a bullpen coach, and you have multiple trainers, right? AAA, normally you have your hitting coach, your manager, your hitting coach, your pitching coach, and maybe like a bullpen catcher. That's it. So 4. Their AAA team had everybody. They had 2 hitting coaches. They had 2 trainers. They had a bullpen coach, a pitching coach. They had everything. They had a bench coach.
They ran it like a major league team.
And that you can see the difference.
Is that where they spend the money?
They spend it in that. They spend it in player development for the players. So we were playing these guys, and they have a pitching machine called the iPitch. And now with all every big league stadium, and honestly a lot of minor league stadiums has a system called Hawkeye.
And
it's a system. You know what Hawkeye is? So it's like a system that looks, it videos everything, but it tracks all the advanced analytics. It tracks spin on the ball. It tracks the way outfielders can take routes, all of those things. And so they use that, and they take this guy, the scouting report now says, okay, this guy's fastball has a 27 RPMs. It has this spin with this IVB, which is a vertical break and all this stuff. Well, the iPitch, you plug all of those numbers in, and you're facing the same pitcher that you're going to face that night.
Wow.
So you're facing the guy that the ball is going to come out with the same type of spin. Now it's going to be a little bit different because you obviously don't have the rhythm of the pitcher. And they hit it every day, every single. And so we're hitting how the fuck do we beat them? Because they're they
already played us.
Yeah, and so we ended up. Our hitting coach was on the White Sox organization. We need to get this. We finally got it. It's $15,000 machine, but you can literally put the stuff in there, and you can go from fastball, curveball, slider, changeup with just one button, and it changes like that.
That's incredible. Have you seen that quarterback robot thing that LSU football has?
No, what is that?
You can,
VR?
You can type in the route tree that you want, and you can feed it 30 footballs.
Oh wow!
And you can go and run route.
Yeah, it's very similar to that.
If Keyshawn Butte wanted to go out on a practice field and run by himself, you could just sit there and this robot will put dimes on you all day.
That's legit.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Andrew Messina asked.
Left-handed.
Andrew Messina asked, "Does Mikey think that the World Series is going Game 7?"
I do. I said it last week. I do think it's going to go to Game 7. I still want to pick the Braves. I still think they're going to win.
Starting to feel like the Astros are about to do it.
I really want. I know I'm saying Game 7, but I really want the Braves. I want the Braves to win.
Is Game 7 in Houston? Game 7's in Houston.
6 and 7 are both going to be in Houston. Yeah. So, that sucks a little bit. But, look, they went bullpen day yesterday. They didn't use any starters. They have a day off today. They're going to have Max Fried. But they lefties. The Astros smashed lefties. So, I don't know.
Jack Peterson broke his necklace.
Got a new one.
That felt like bad juju.
It did.
That felt like some.
Jeweler's back, though. He's all right. He got a new one.
As a former jeweler myself, that's bad juju once the thing breaks.
All right, look, if Rohan shows up, we will do some content. This guy.
These guys.
All right, we appreciate you being here for this Monday. Check out the poll question on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're watching us there, share, promote. We appreciate that. Make sure and hit that like button before you get out of here. To our guest, Jeff Duncan, thank you for stopping in here, talking some New Orleans Saints. we'll preview LSU Alabama at some point this week. Thank you for following the Jordy Culotta Show, driven and powered by Go Chevrolet.